Over 20 years ago, he showed up on the scene with ruthless aggression. He would go on to win a record-tying 16 world titles. He would be the face of a generation, and he would cement his place as quite possibly the greatest of all time. Now in 2025, he will have his retirement tour. Of course, we are talking about the doctor of thugonomics, the leader of the chain gang, the leader of the C Nation, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect, John Cena. Next year is going to be the last year for John Cena. So with this episode, we're going to look at 5 guys we want to see battle Cena on his way out. A lot of people want to see him reignite some old rivalries, and I am not one of them. We already know he can have great matches with Orton, Punk, Rollins, and Styles. I want to see him get in there and mix it up with some young blood. So this list is going to be 5 guys John Cena has never faced before. Before we start the list, remember to hit the FU on the like button and drop a 5-knuckle shuffle on that subscribe button. Let's start the list. Number 5, Logan Paul. Logan Paul versus John Cena could be a big mainstream match for WWE. This would get some attention on WWE. Cena could use this as promotion for Peacemaker, and Paul could do storyline work on his podcast. Paul has shown he's very gifted in the ring and can have great matches. He has already worked with Roman, Orton, Mysterio, and Cody. Adding John Cena to his list would be huge and is easily the biggest star he ever worked with. In terms of in-ring work, this may be the weakest match for Cena on the list, but there's huge potential to go viral and generate huge buzz. Number 4, Jacob Fatu. For years, I would fantasy book matches for Fatu to have in WWE, and now that he's there, my mind is running rampant. Before Cena hangs it up for good, I need a match between him and Fatu. Cena has a history with the Bloodline, as he has had matches with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. But he famously had a feud with Umaga. Cena and the Samoan Bulldozer had probably the best last man standing match ever at Royal Rumble 2007. Working with Fatu could call back to the work with Umaga. They could even hype up Fatu as being more dangerous than Umaga. Also, Fatu should be an easy opponent for Cena as he could do a lot of incredible things and Cena won't have to work too hard to get the match over. I think a win over Cena could do a lot for Fatu and launch him into the main event picture. Number 3, Gunther. This match is the quintessential professional wrestler versus the perennial WWE superstar. A match between these two would remind us of those banger matches Cena was having when he was having his US Open challenges every week. Also, Cena would have to call back to that Super Cena mentality to hang with Gunther. Gunther is one of the most dominant stars in the last 5 years, and beating John Cena would cement him as the dominant force of this generation. After the King of the Ring final against Orton was so good, I have been wanting to see Gunther battle some more stars of the ruthless aggression era, and John Cena was the face of that era. The sight of Gunther laying in brutal chops on John Cena would be great. I think this match could go down as the best of John Cena's career, which is a huge statement. Number 2, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker has been great since his debut on the main roster. With Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns probably not having too much longer in their careers, Braun is perfect to be the new juggernaut of the company. Adding John Cena to his list of victims would be big. Every big badass that has come through WWE in the last 20 years has had to battle John Cena. I think the best way for this match to go is a squash match. Braun destroying John Cena like Brock did in 2014 would be a monumental moment for Braun's career. It would be a great way for Cena to go out by setting up the monster of the next generation. Number 1, Dominic Mysterio. This is the match I want for Cena's last match. The most dangerous man in the WWE locker room versus John Cena is a main event in any arena. I think the promos leading up to the match could make for good television. Cena could even bring back the Doctor of Thugonomics and do some freestyles on Dirty Dom. In the storyline, Eddie Guerrero is Dom's real dad, so I want them to play up the past history between Cena and Eddie. Maybe on an episode of Raw, we can get a parking lot brawl to call back to that brawl between Cena and Eddie. I think Dom is going to be a huge star for WWE, and they need to start having him work with main event talent, and I think Cena is a big test for him. Also, if they want Cena to be cheered in his last match, then Dom is the perfect opponent. Dom is a heat-seeking missile, and the crowd will be hating him big time. In the end, I would have Dom lie, cheat, and steal to beat John Cena.
Stuff that jumped out to me, Logan Paul, not the biggest Logan Paul fan, but I can just see right now a viral AA.
Yeah.
Jumping some amazing feat that Logan does right into the AA. Fatu, I think, is the shit, so I like that call. Braun Breaker in a squash, that would be huge for him. That's the way to make that guy the star that everyone knows that he's going to be. Gunther, that's the match I want for Cena at WrestleMania. That's the match I want Cena to get the record 17th with. And that's also the last match I want Cena to have. I want Cena to put Gunther over on his way out for the belt. Some names that jumped out to me that I would like, though, is Hater Drew. Hater Drew McIntyre, I feel like, would just light Cena up on the mic. And it ain't like Cena's a slouch, though, so Cena could give it back, where I feel like it'd be entertaining. And these last three names, they're not feuds per se. It's more so I just want a banger match on Raw or SmackDown, like that 40-minute, I think it might have been an hour match that Cena had with Shawn Michaels that was random on Raw when Orton got in trouble. I want him to give us one of those classics on TV with either Chad Gable, Austin Theory, or Carmelo Hayes. I feel like I would rather Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory because those two guys I'm higher on, and I feel like they could use the rub. I think the internet wrestling community and John Cena probably would rather do it with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
One of those three guys would be really cool if Cena would do that. But those are the guys that jumped out to me was Theory, Hayes, Gable, Drew McIntyre.
Also, I think another guy that's recently stepped up that would be cool for Cena is Bronson Reed. I think seeing if Cena could defeat Bronson Reed would be really good.
And it calls back to Super Cena.
Yeah,
when
he would have to be
against
Super Cena to beat Bronson Reed.
Yeah, when you go against Kali and Umaga, these straight monsters.
I like the idea of Carmelo Hayes, and also I feel like Andrade and Cena could be something too. After you talked about like him having a banger with Carmelo, and Carmelo's been having those great matches with Andrade, I feel like that would be really cool for Andrade to get a match with Cena.
And before anyone jumps down our throats in the comments, like, look, I know Austin Theory wrestled Cena at WrestleMania, but I feel like Cena phoned that shit in. That wasn't
it's a chance for Cena to do right by Austin Theory. I feel like he didn't do him any favors.
Like, Austin Theory's the man. I know I've actually been seeing people on Reddit or Twitter, one of the two. I was seeing a lot of people compare Theory to Dolph Ziggler, and they said that he sells so well for people that he'll never be a main event player. Like, let's stop this shit. Yeah. This dude's a main event player. The fact that he sells that well should put him in the main event.
Yeah, I could see Theory in the main event picture. I mean, Randy Orton's been singing his praises, so I feel like that there's a feud down the line between Orton and Theory, and I think that Orton's going to make him a main event player.
In the comments, let us know some of the names that you want to see Cena work with in his final year in professional wrestling.